Hey guys, I'm Ross today. For today's video, I'll be grading the New Zealand Super Rugby transfers for the 2023 season. Before I do so, click the like button, guys, definitely subscribe, and let me know in the comments which player will have the biggest impact this year. Other than that, let's get straight into this. We'll start off with my Blues. As you can see here, the Blues haven't made as many signings compared to the rest of the sides, but still, they've made some valuable acquisitions, or kind of retained some players to say the least. Starting off with James Lay, again, a player who did previously play for the Blues, but now officially kind of signed his contract now, kind of extended it to say the least. But solid player with another proposition, and definitely needed now that Carl Tongafe has now left the Blues, I believe, to Montpellier, if not mistaken. So, a good signing overall. Again, we do have the, reintroduction, you could say, of Patrick Tupoloto now coming back from his sabbatical. So good to have him back, of course. A lot of experience under his belt. Anyone with his quality, all black caliber player, it's definitely going to be very useful for the Blues. And yeah, definitely with players leaving, I believe with Luca Romano kind of being the big one within that position, Patrick Tupoloto can just kind of slot in and obviously take care of that. So good to have him obviously back. And again, probably the big transfer you could say that the Blues have made this year is signing Caleb Tangitau, I believe, from the Rugby Sevens, New Zealand Rugby Sevens team, which is a big signing actually because he's a really explosive player actually to what I've seen within Rugby Sevens, and he's very quick actually. He's surprisingly quick, kind of for his you can say for his build, because he's just a powerhouse really. So it's kind of cool to have that player because it's similar towards kind of Caleb Clark really. They're kind of similar technical players in that sense in terms of what they can bring towards his Blues side. So yeah, really excited to see how he does. But again, if I had to grade these players, I'm going to probably give James Lay, again, he's been at the side, so I'm going to probably say just a C+. It's kind of just a re-signing, but again, needed because Carl Tongafe, like I said, is now leaving. Patrick Tupoloto, it's an A+. Again, he's an A+, 100%. Bringing him back is just a much-needed player, really, for this Blues side, and it's probably going to help them if they want to challenge for that title this year. So, definitely an A+ signing in my opinion. And then, Caleb Tangitau, I'm going to say like a B+. For what I've seen within Super Rugby, well, not within Super Rugby, but within the Rugby Sevens, he's been immense, really. So, hopefully he kind of continues that within Super Rugby level. But anyway, we'll move on then towards the Chiefs. As you can see here, the Chiefs have made a lot more signings compared to the Blues, but definitely some good names overall, and kind of previous names have actually brought in as well, because they brought in John Ryan, again, not one of the names I mentioned, but again, he's come from Ireland, and it's a pretty fascinating signing actually, because we don't have a lot of players who actually come from Ireland. But he's 34 years old, playing within that prop position. Again, I'm not sure if they need a lot of players within that area, because they do have the likes of Angus Tava, they have the likes of Aiden Ross. I mean, there's two solid players already there. Ollie Norris as well. So it's gonna be interesting to see how he kind of comes into the fold within that place. But still, a very good position, a very good player to what I know of. Obviously, will I believe join Munster at the end of the year. So really, only a 1 year kind of only play within the Super Rugby within this year's Super Rugby season. So we'll have to see just what he can do, really. But again, they have brought in Selby Rickett, I believe, from the Highlanders, which is a big signing, actually, a big transfer to say the least, stealing another lock. And to be honest, guys, I think the Chiefs have literally the best locks, like the best locking depth within whole of Super Rugby, hands down. I mean, they have Retallick, they have Tubo Valai, they have Josh Lord, they have now Selby Rickett. I mean, the list goes on, really. So it's kind of crazy to think, the positions they have. It's just mad, really. So, they have Tubo Valai as well. It's just mad. It's crazy. But anyway, look, it's a good signing overall. But again, is it needed? I'm not sure. We'll come into that later on. But look, with the backs, they have brought back Tao Tomangi. He was playing for the Crusaders last year, but I believe he's now come in for injury cover, if I'm not mistaken. I believe is it Xavier Rowe? I think he's now injured for this season. So he's now come back in and solid back within this Chiefs side, which is good to see, because again, he's just a solid player overall and definitely can cover Brad Weber, in my opinion. But again, they've brought back now Damien McKenzie, again, similar towards Patrick Tupoloto, another player who's come back from a sabbatical from Japan. He's probably I guess, I'm not going to say he's the signing of the, is he the signing of the great, in terms of all the other signings? I'm trying to think. He's probably the signing, I'd say, out of all the Super Rugby sides, in terms of a transfer, because again, I still class him as a transfer, guys, because he didn't play the previous season, and I just think he has a lot of quality. I mean, look, he's all black caliber player. He's just he's only 27 still, can play either fly half or fullback. So yeah, it's Damon McKenzie. What can I say? He's just a great player, and it's just been great for the Chiefs in the past. So yeah, he'll be looking to try and continue that form going into this season. But again, they've brought in another player from Highlanders, which is Punavai. Sort of player overall, can play obviously center or winger. I believe, did he play for the Crusaders? I'm not sure, but maybe I'm mistaken there. But he is just a solid player overall for what I've seen. So yeah, good player in that sense. But if I had to grade them, I'm going to say John Ryan. I don't know. I'll say like a C minus. It's just not needed as much. Similar to Selby Rickett, I'm going to say like I can't even say like a D maybe, but I'll say, yeah, you know what? I'm going to say a D plus. It's just not what they need within that position, in all honesty. Talarni, yeah, I'll give like a C plus. Kind of just cover really for Brad Weber, so it makes sense. McKenzie, definitely an A plus. There's no doubt about that one, and he's just a sensational player overall. And I was very fortunate to actually see him play in London, actually, when the Barbarians faced the All Blacks side, actually. Well, what are they called now? It was like the All Blacks 15, really, or XV, really. So yeah, it was really cool to see Damien McKenzie live. So yeah, just hope we kind of can step up really for this year. But again, Punavai as well. I'm gonna probably say it's like I'll say a C plus as well. So overall, some good good ratings there. I say for good grading, at least for the Chiefs. But we'll move on then towards the Crusaders. As you can see here, Crusaders haven't made as many signings. Look, they've brought in Christian Lil really, 24 years old. Loose forward. Definitely add towards that kind of position, but. Is he needed as much? I'm not sure. I mean, look, they do have the likes of Cullen Grace. They have there's one that's what's his name? Tom Christie. I'm so happy to remember his name. And then they have there's like one more. Oh, what's his name? Oh, I gotta remember his name. It's Tom Christie, Cullen Grace. Oh, there's one guy I'm missing so badly. I can't remember. Guys, let me know in the comments. I know I'm forgetting his name. Just let me know, because you know exactly what I'm on about. Oh, I can't believe I forgot him. Anyway, but I just don't think he'll add much within that position, is kind of what I'm saying. Again, moving on towards the backs, we have Willie Haynes actually coming back now, which is very fascinating to see. He obviously did represent the Crusaders in the past. I think he has a Super Rugby title on his hands. I may be wrong with that, but did obviously go on to represent England for a few times. But yeah, now he's back in the Crusaders, so kind of cool to see. And yeah, again, a big one and a kind of a devastating one if you're a Blues fan, because yeah, I was heartbroken to see this when I saw this. But Nanai has now joined the Crusaders. Obviously, following the I believe he was at Worcester as well, similar to other players within the Australian side. Super Rugby sides. I mean, yeah, Nana has now returned towards New Zealand, and he's now chosen to play for the Crusaders, which is just heartbreaking, because he would have been so nice at the Blues. I mean, I would have loved to have him at the Blues, but I understand that maybe that's kind of a more of a cover position, because they do still have the likes of Will Jordan, Sefer Rees, Lester Fanayanku. So again, will he get as many units? I'm not sure, but still very good player to add towards your ranks. Rather grade them, I'm gonna say probably Christian Willie. I'm gonna say probably a C plus. I think that's pretty fair to say. Will Haynes, again, he has a lot of experience on his belt, so I'm going to say a B minus. And yeah, Nanai, look, I'm going to say a B. I'll say I'll say a B plus. I'll say a B plus. I think that's pretty fair. Yeah, so maybe on then towards the Highlanders. They've run a lot of good players overall. They have Perry Parkinson in there. I mean, look, he's a great player to bring him back. I mean, again, he had a long-lasting injury, so that's the reason why I've kind of included him in this. But he was at a level where the All Blacks were even looking at him at one point. So if he can kind of get back towards that, maybe he has a chance. But again, with a World Cup year, I don't know. Maybe it's a bit too late, but still very excited to see what he can do, because he's a kind of a player. He's a really good player actually to watch. But in terms of backs, I mean, it's amazing to think. But Freddie Burns has joined the Highlanders and has joined Super Rugby, which is crazy. But he's coming from Leicester Tigers, a very good player overall. Has helped the Leicester Tigers win premierships in the past, and yeah, he's a great player, and definitely a position they needed within that fly half area. So yeah, kind of like the signing overall. I mean, look, when you go towards Jonah Lowe, he's only 26? Yeah, 26 years old, and yeah, he has a lot of again, just a lot of Super Rugby experience, obviously with the Chiefs. So a player they have stolen from another Super Rugby side. It's kind of good to have that. But yeah, I mean, look, you have Jonah Nareki there. I mean, he's an amazing player, the guys. He's amazing to watch. And yeah, it's just good to have him back, obviously, within Super Rugby, because he didn't play last year, unfortunately, as he had a kind of a season injury. I think it was his ACL, if I'm not mistaken. But again, just it'll be great to have him. Still only 25 years old, and still has a lot to add towards his Highlanders side. But yeah, the new one actually, which is kind of again, similar towards Freddie Burns. I haven't seen Martin, but Martin Borgado. I think that's the way you pronounce it. Let me know if I'm pronouncing it wrong. But he's the Argentinian, 24 years old, and coming at the fullback position, and definitely an area which they can add to. I mean, look, you do have now Mitch Hunt. I mean, I think they still have Matty Banks as well. So they can add, we'll see with Freddie Burns and Martin Borgado. So it'll be interesting to see who kind of starts from those two positions, also who comes into the bench. But overall, about the gravy signings, I'll give Pepe Parkinson probably like a B+, because he's a solid player to bring back into that side, and definitely an area which they need to improve in within the unlocking area. Freddie Burns, I'm gonna give it like an A-. It's kind of a great player to bring in. Has a lot of experience under his belt, and I think he could adapt into the Super Rugby environment pretty easily. We'll see if that happens or not. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, Jonah Lowe, again, solid player overall. I'm gonna say a B+, coming from the Chiefs. Has a lot of Super Rugby experience under his belt, so yeah, he can definitely add a lot of value towards that kind of back position. Jonah Nareki, I'm going to say it's an A+, because he's just that good of a player that you can't disregard him. And for what he's done in the past with Highlanders, he's going to be a massive addition towards their side for this year. And then, yeah, Martin Borgado, I mean, again, I haven't seen him play, but for what I've heard, he's a very decent player. So I'll definitely keep an eye on him throughout the season. But I'll say a C+ for now, because I just don't know. I'm not giving the average really, because I just don't know what I'm expecting from him. But yeah, we'll move on towards the Hurricanes, the last team here, of course. The Hurricanes just haven't had as many signings compared towards the rest of the Super Rugby sides. I mean, look, they've added Peter Lackey. He's only 19 years old, but again, fits within that loose forward position, a position they've needed to kind of build a lot of depth in. I mean, they still have the likes of Karifi as well as Sevilla, but they need to add more within that area. So yeah, it'll be to see how he does. Again, you do the likes of Brett Cameron, coming from the Crusaders. He has played for the Crusaders in the past, and yeah, he's a solid fly-off overall, but just hasn't had enough time, obviously, with Richard Monger obviously ahead of him. So it makes sense for him kind of transferring over towards the Hurricanes. But again, we'll have to kind of battle, with Ruben Love. So we'll have to see if that kind of works out or not. But and then we do have the likes of Nahalo, the younger Nahalo. Kenny, he's still only 23 years old, but still going to add a lot of depth towards that area. It's kind of crazy to think they have Julian Sevilla and Nahalo, the older. It's mad, but we'll see how that works. But no, overall, I thought the good these signings. I'll probably give Lucky, because I've seen a lot of him actually from NPC. I'll say like a B+. Kind of like him a lot. In terms of Brett Cameron, I'm gonna say again, I think it's a good signing overall. I'll say a B-, because they still have Ruben Love, so we'll obviously kind of be if it can challenge him or not. And then Nahalo, again, I think it's just like a C- signing, just more depth really within that area. But yeah, that's kind of it really with this kind of grading these New Zealand sides. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Let me know which player will make the biggest impact. Other than that, I'll see you guys next time.
Hey, Bill, I'm in the mood for a switch up. I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup. I hit the stage and leave with money that's a stick up. She picture perfect, so I